How's it going, guys? This is Ideas of Ice and Fire. George R. R. Martin said something very interesting about Beric Dondarrion recently. This is in response to an interviewer asking him questions about Lady Stoneheart and also Jon Snow's resurrection in the show. Right, and poor Beric Dondarrion, who was set up as the foreshadowing of all this. Every time he's a little bit less Beric. His memories are fading, he's got all these scars, he's becoming more and more physically hideous because he's not a living human being anymore. His heart isn't beating. His blood isn't flowing in his veins. He's a white, but a white animated by fire instead of ice. Now we're getting back to the whole fire and ice thing. What I find very interesting about this is that in the books, the White Walkers' whites are simply thralls. They don't seem to have wills of their own. They seem to be the direct enforcers of the will of the others. But Stoneheart and Beric Dondarrion seem to have wills and thoughts of their own, unless they are being controlled by some unseen entity that's a representative of fire. It remains to be seen how similar these two different kinds of whites actually are. From what George has said here, Beric is still decomposing, and so is Lady Stoneheart. If he's growing more and more grotesque, he's rotting. A clear difference, however, that I can point to from the books is that Beric can die much easier than whites in the north, whites that come from the White Walkers, because those whites, they have to be burned or hacked into pieces, but Beric is slain multiple times by things as simple as a knife through the eye or a sword through the shoulder, and each time has to be brought back by Thoros of Myr. That would almost make it seem as though the magic of the others is more potent than the magic of R'hllor or whatever the source of this fire magic is. It also could be that neither form of magic is more potent or less potent than the other. They simply work in different ways, and that's why Stoneheart and Beric Dondarrion have wills, and other whites animated by ice don't seem to. This quote from George R. R. Martin also confirms my idea that the reason that Beric Dondarrion or whoever is less of themselves when they're brought back from the dead is simply because cells have died off and they've decomposed. There's no mystical reason that they've lost a part of themselves. It's simply because the parts in his brain that held certain memories have decomposed, and that's why he's lost the memories. It's not necessarily supernatural, it's more physical. So this was a very interesting statement from George R. R. Martin on the nature of the resurrected people in the novels. And you might ask, what does this say for Jon Snow in the future? I think that it's very debatable, because we don't know the method by which Jon Snow will be resurrected in the next book. Now, Melisandre in A Dance with Dragons, she sees in her vision, she sees Jon Snow go from a man to a wolf to a man again, because Jon Snow is a beastling, he is a skin changer, he is a warg, and when a skin changer dies, they can inhabit the body of an animal. The last thing that Jon Snow says or thinks before he dies is ghost. So Jon Snow is definitely inhabiting the body of his direwolf Ghost. Now this is a different dilemma than Stoneheart or Beric Dondarrion, because Jon Snow's consciousness actually still exists somewhere. Perhaps it'll be a matter of actually moving Jon's mind from the body of Ghost to another body, and not necessarily his own body that has 9 stab wounds in it. There's a lot to consider. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more Ideas of Ice and Fire.